Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a great show for you guys here today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. Make sure y'all follow me on IG. So anyway, let's get into a topic, man. Listen. Let me tell y'all how I feel about this. I feel like Nostradamus. For those of y'all who followed our channel for, let's say, 2.5 years ago, you guys know I was foreshadowing the fallout between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. Y'all know it. I used to talk about it periodically. I would talk about the fact that whenever they would start off the show, Shannon would always be the first one to reach across the desk to shake Skip's hand. Skip would do. People are like, oh, no, they're acting. It's a movie. It's a motion picture, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I ended up being right about that. And I'm telling you guys, I have a feeling that this thing may end up not working out. What am I referring to? As y'all know, Inside the NBA just concluded its final season on TNT, right? After being on TV for probably, 2 decades now. They were on TV for a very long time. Initially started off with Kenny Smith and then Ernie, and then Charles came on, then Shaq came on. Then you had various guest appearances like Chris Webber and then now contemporary guys like Vince Carter, Draymond Green, Tracy McGrady at one point had been on there, Jalen Rose at one point had been on there. So just a bunch of different guys. But the core of that show is Charles, Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq, right? Those guys are the ones, right? So we got the news that eventually we're going to be joining ESPN. Essentially, ESPN is going to be licensing the show. We obviously don't know what time they're going to be doing the show and all of that. And people like myself were a little bit trepidatious of this because we know ESPN. ESPN loves to twerk. This is what they do on a daily basis. And I'm like, I'm not sure how this is going to work, given the way Charles has always criticized ESPN on Inside the NBA. He's called them guys a bunch of damn fools for always saying that the Lakers would be better than what they actually are. And I'm like, I don't see this thing being as smooth as some people think it's going to be. So this morning, just looking for what to discuss, and I came across a report here with the following headline: Charles Barkley concerned about move to ESPN. We just don't know. And I'm like, aha! I'm telling you guys. I'm telling y'all right now. Mark the date. It is June 13th, 2025. This thing ain't going to be as smooth as you guys think it's going to be. So this is the article that we want to get into. But before we even get into what this report had to say, today's video is brought to you by a sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports with over 10 million members. Prize Picks makes it easy to get real money action on the sports and players you love. You pick more or less on at least 2 for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. For example, this week on Prize Picks, I'm looking at the upcoming NBA schedule and selecting Stephen Curry for more than 29 points and Kevin Durant for more than 27 points and Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. If you're like me and you like to play it safe, you'll love Prize Picks' new feature, Flex Plays. It's the safest way to play. You can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Plus, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. On top of this, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as in 15 minutes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. All right, so let's get into what this report had to say here. It says the following: Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal continue to be asked about ESPN, and one feeling that keeps emerging about the new partnership is concern. Barkley recently joined sports radio hosts Nick and Chris Dimino on 680 The Fan in Atlanta, where he was asked about Inside the NBA's looming move to the worldwide leader next season. With Warner Brothers Discovery losing NBA rights for TNT, Barkley, O'Neal, Smith, and Ernie Johnson will continue their popular studio show through a licensing agreement with ESPN. TNT will produce the show in Atlanta, but it will air on ESPN and ABC. While ESPN won't have any editorial control over Inside the NBA, everyone remains interested in seeing how the partnership plays out, particularly with the talent involved. Smith recently admitted that he was uncomfortable with the move. O'Neal has also said he is concerned about going to ESPN, and Barkley is echoing the sentiment. We're all concerned. I'm not going to lie to you, Barkley said on the show, because we just don't know. So I wish I could give you a definite answer, but we made the move and we're going to see it. Like I said, it's going to be cool working for ESPN. ESPN, the most famous network in the world of sports, and it's going to be an honor to work there. The licensing agreement with ESPN was announced last November. It's one thing for Barkley, Shaq, and Smith to have concerns and discomfort about the move in the immediate weeks and months after it was announced, but the uneasiness has continued even after they've met with both TNT Sports and ESPN to discuss how the agreement will work. One concern remains the potential workload, even though Inside the NBA will air on ESPN and ABC significantly less frequently than it has on TNT. Barkley said he is willing to appear remotely on ESPN studio shows, as he has in the past with Get Up or even First Take, but just because he does one show doesn't mean he's going to do all of them in a given day or week. They've been trying to get me my entire career, Barkley said of ESPN, but I made a great decision going to Turner because it's amazing. And despite Inside the NBA airing on ESPN, Barkley and crew will remain employees of TNT Sports, but it's not TNT Sports of old. Our company is not the same, Barkley said of Turner. We have two mergers that basically just sucked. It sucked, plain and simple. We fired everybody the last two times. So our company has changed dramatically. Those changes have continued this week with Warner Brothers Discovery splitting into two companies in a move that essentially leaves TNT Sports on a stranded island. While Barkley continues to seem discontent about the move to ESPN, he should at least take some solace in knowing Inside the NBA has the support of a more stable network. So you heard what Charles Barkley had to say. He's talking about how some of the things will work in the background, and essentially how these shows are going to work. Charles has made it crystal clear that he's not going to be up there working like a damn slave. And I totally understand, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, Charles, I believe, is 60 or close to 60 years old. At that point, man, ain't nobody be out there trying to work like a damn racehorse at that stage in your life, especially when you're financially secure. At that point in time, people are enjoying themselves. Let me give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. I think Michael Jordan just turned 60. And do you know what? I saw a footage of him on TikTok. He was in some island with his wife and himself and maybe his people that are usually around him. And it's like every time I see Michael Jordan, every time I see him, he's somewhere relaxing. There's obviously the footage of him in Portugal. The guy tried to take a picture with him. He had on an Adidas shirt. Jordan refused to take a picture. I'm like, bro, dude, just take off your shirt. Like, I'm confused. Take off your shirt. Flip it inside out. Whatever. Let the guy stand next to you, borrow his shirt, take a picture of him. You meant that much to you to keep on an Adidas shirt. But what I'm saying is Jordan always seems to be somewhere enjoying himself. And that's usually what people in their 60s do when they've made a lot of money. Yeah, they work, but they want to enjoy themselves. So Charles saying, look, you guys are not going to be out here stressing me and all of this. These people are grandparents. What do you think? They're going to be in the studio running up and down, hollering and screaming all week long? No, if they can help it, they won't do it. So I totally get them on that from that vantage point. The next point, and the part where I think things may go awry, is just because of how ESPN tends to do its job with the messaging and all of that. And then you bring in a guy like Charles Barkley with his candor. Imagine Charles Barkley on a segment on Get Up or First Take where you have an entire panel up there twerking. And then you have Charles Barkley coming out there just saying, you guys are just basically a bunch of idiots and y'all don't know what y'all talking. That could be contentious at times. It could even make things awkward because ESPN twerks. So don't forget it. They always twerk. And when you have a person like that, a personality like Charles, who doesn't feel like, oh, this is my job, I have to hold on to who's basically like, y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want. I'm a made man. I don't care. Which is something I respect about Charles because there are a lot of people that are millionaires talking sports and they don't have that same courage. They are millionaires, millions and millions in the bank, and you can never get an honest opinion out of them. They're always thinking, if I say this, how would that guy interpret? Like, bro, just give your bloody opinion and let that be that, right? So I think there's going to be some friction there. I'm not hoping for it, but I think we're going to have some awkward exchanges on television in the future. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.